Hi everyone, today we are going to check out one of the coolest new innovations in public transit worldwide, and that is the Optics Valley Suspended Monorail in Wuhan, the first ever commercially operated one of its kind in China. And it floats above the city streets like something from a sci-fi movie. So today we have to go on board and experience it for ourselves. This line runs about 10.5 kilometers with 6 stations, from Longquanshan station in the north down to Longquanshan in the south. But here's the thing, it doesn't really serve the city's busiest neighborhoods or downtown core. Instead, it connects scenic spots, parks, tech zones and suburban areas in Wuhan's fast-growing Optics Valley district. This line is independently operated, not part of the main Wuhan metro system, but it does connect smoothly with Metro Line 11 for easy transfers. This setup mainly serves commuters and visitors in the Optics Valley high-tech area, offering a futuristic, eco-friendly way to get around this sprawling district. Okay, let's buy a ticket first. I'm going to buy a day pass. I'll go look into the camera. Oh, look at that, isn't that handsome? I've got to scan my pay code on here. And here we go, I've got my ticket. We need to go through security. I just need to scan my drain bag. Hang on. Okay, the security check was fairly painless. Now we have one of 2 directions we can go in. One is one station going northwards to Longquanshan, but I want to go in the opposite direction to a place called Longquanshan, and that will give us 5 stations worth of time, so we can get plenty of clips outside of the window and also through the floor. We can see that all of the passengers have piled up at the front, but actually the rear of the monorail train is pretty clear. So I'm just going to stay here and get most of our views from this position. Now this train has a number of special features. Although we technically have a seat here for a driver, the train itself is fully automated. And also the monorail tracks are not electrified, so the trains actually run on a battery pack. But unlike your average EVs, the monorail train isn't going to suffer from range anxiety, and that is because it runs on a set track of only 6 stations. This is one of our stops along the way, and this is the Zhongbaoqu. But I can see something interesting here, and that is, apart from the end stations, or the ones that link up with the metro system, these stations in the middle are pretty quiet.
附近的龙泉山景区有灵泉寺和明楚王墓国家考古遗址公园，拥有7.6平方公里的幽谷风光带。我们在站台即可眺望远处龙泉山风景，感受自然景观。Dear tourists, the train is about to arrive at Longquanshan Station. Please hold on tight and watch your steps. Be careful and be safe.
You might have noticed something interesting then, and that is almost none of the passengers got off the train. So that just tells you that most of them are just visitors to this area, coming to experience the suspended monorail track. It has to be said, as cool as the monorail train is, It is quite far away from the central parts of Wuhan, and so it goes that this train service mostly serves tourists and commuters inside the Optics Valley high-tech area. As futuristic as this train feels, it's not actually the very first of its kind. Apparently since the early 1900s, there's been another track in Germany called the Schwebebahn. So that train has been running in Germany, suspended from a steel frame above the Wupper River. So I guess you could say that this version in Wuhan is more like a sleek AI version. I'm from England. Are you from Wuhan?
No, I'm from Shenzhen.
Are you here on a holiday?
Yes.
Do you like this train?
Yes, I think it's like the subway.
Do you feel nervous if you stand on the glass?
No.
Do you feel very safe riding this train?
Yes.
Okay, that is the end of our experience today. If I had to make some concluding remarks, I would say that the monorail train itself was a great experience. Now it feels very modern, sleek, high-tech. And although the monorail train is suspended from the tracks, from the experience today, it feels just as stable as any other train I've ridden on before. I was wondering to myself whether I have to use the facial recognition to get out, but it does say here that there's no need. Please go directly through. I guess the only question marks I have over this monorail service would be the choice of location and ridership, especially as the locations we glided over were pretty remote, even though the woodlands areas were very beautiful. So it would have been my expectation that to be sustainable, they would have to depend on commuter traffic. But from what I've seen today, it's mostly tourists from out of town who are keeping the monorail trains mostly full. Another big takeaway for me is this style of monorail is well suited to ecologically sensitive areas, as the trains run quite far above the ground and they also glide past silently. But of course, that's assuming you have to build a monorail track there in the first place. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little trip with me, and I'll catch you for another one, either in Wuhan or Chongqing pretty soon. Catch you later.